Joining me now, MoffettNathanson Research co-founder and senior analyst Craig Moffett, who up until last week, as I said, was the only Wall Street analyst who had a sell on the stock. Craig, you're now neutral on Apple. Did you hear anything today that has you considering moving your needle on the stock, either up or down?
Hi, Liz. No, but I didn't expect to, and I think that's partly what you're seeing in the stock price today is everyone knew pretty much what was going to be announced today. The press has gotten so efficient at predicting these events that we knew almost every possible spec of every single device that they were going to release today. And it was so carefully scripted that there's no surprises. You're maybe seeing a little bit of disappointment that there weren't any surprises. There were probably some market participants holding out with hope that they would say something out of left field that was good news. But otherwise, this was exactly what people expected. So you're seeing a little air come out of the balloon. But this isn't going to change the trajectory of the stock. The longer term issues are still really about AI and whether AI is going to drive an upgrade cycle. And today's event is neither here nor there with respect to that question.
Okay, so even the parts float. You're looking at the video of the iPhone Air, and they had this very fancy video of how ultra thin it is. A couple of stats here. It has about a 5.5 millimeter width here, 6.6 inch ProMotion display, lightweight titanium aluminum frame. I'm looking at this. It's got the Apple chip, Apple C1 modem, runaway style rear camera bar with single 48 MP lens. You just talked about how everybody knew what was going to come out here. Is this just sell on the news? Because the stock is pretty much at the low of the session, down 1.75%.
Yeah, it's either sell on the news or it's sell on the lack of news. Because as I say, there were probably some that hoped there would be some kind of an announcement about AI, perhaps, or something new. This was so exactly according to script that it is what it is. And look, that's not to express disappointment. The Air is a remarkable piece of engineering. It really is. I don't know how many people are going to buy it because at the end of the day, you sacrifice something with respect to battery life in return for a thinner profile and frankly, and a less functional camera. And frankly, for a lot of people, if you're going to put it in a case, I don't know how much difference the slight difference in thinness makes, but it's a really remarkable feat of engineering. And in the past, what we've seen with these kind of thin models, like you go all the way back to the MacBook Air of 2010, and it sort of set the roadmap for the product lineup for the next decade. So I suppose there are probably a lot of technological innovations in this phone that will start to become embedded in all of the next generations of phones. But there's nothing here that says, oh, I've got to go out and buy that right away.
Well, what about the Apple Watch? Because they unveiled the Series 11 watch, and this one actually, they start with the usual emails of the Apple Watch saved my life because it discovered some type of heart problem, et cetera. But now it's going to be health monitoring of hypertension, notifications you'll supposedly get. They're waiting on FDA approval for that. But sleep quality, they're kind of taking on Aura on that because they'll give you a sleep score every day. But is there anything in there that might juice these accessories that have actually been decent moneymakers for Apple?
Yeah, look, the accessories are great businesses, and the EarPod Pro 3 is a great set of earpods too. So the accessories are great. Again, but that's not really. It's a little bit of the tail wagging the dog, and I don't want to underplay the opportunity for Apple in healthcare. There are some real significant opportunities there, and obviously from a consumer welfare perspective, it's wonderful stuff. But to really move the stock, just given how big the company is, it sort of has to be about either the iPhone itself, or perhaps alternatively something really significant in services that an AI subscription or something like that that's enough to move the needle.
Can I just get you on Apple Intelligence? Did you hear anything that got them at least? They're so far behind, a little bit closer to the rest of the pack. With AI, that's been the problem. And yes, there is translation for the new AirPods, but I didn't really hear anything. Did you?
No, and I didn't expect to. I think they're being sort of reticent. They overpromised a year and a half ago, or a little over a year ago, at the WWDC in June of 24, and I think they're chastened by having overpromised and want to be a little more careful and circumspect this time. But to me, Liz, the big question, again, this is if you think about this in the perspective of what is it going to take to drive the super cycle that I still think is priced into the stock. It's not just that Apple Intelligence has to work well. That's a sort of table stakes.
Right.
It's that it has to work well on the device as opposed to in the cloud. Because if it works in the cloud, I can go to use the Perplexity app or the ChatGPT app on any phone today and get the full functionality of the best AI models out there. So it has to be something that requires more memory and more processing power in the device if it's going to make me feel like I need to upgrade the device. And that doesn't seem to be where things are trending right now. So Apple, to me, looks like a company making wonderful stuff, but it's a slow mid-single digit grower that's priced for something faster than that. And I don't see anything here that suggests that growth is going to meaningfully accelerate.
Okay, so you're still at a neutral. Good to see you, Craig. Thank you very much.
Good to see you, Liz.